Have you ever looked at your partner and thought, how can you not see this? And at the exact same moment, they're looking at you thinking, what are you freaking about? What? I don't see anything that's going on here. And I want to say that discrepancy is where most clutter fights are born. It's not just about the piles, you guys. It's about the fact that you each are differently affected by what's happening in the home or a room or some area of your house that is just driving one of you batshit and the other one is completely oblivious. That alone can create confusion, tension, and a subtle sense of disconnection. And if it's long enough, it might be more than just a subtle sense. And I want to assure you of something right away here. You're not devastatingly incompatible, and you're definitely not crazy. You simply have different clutter thresholds. And those thresholds only make sense in comparison to the person you're sharing space with. It's really important. It's all relative. So, what is a clutter threshold? A clutter threshold is the point at which physical stuff in your space begins to stress out your nervous system and it makes you feel overwhelmed, anxious. Maybe it's agitation you're feeling. A lot of people speak of frustration. It's the moment when your body starts yelling, this is way too much. I can't fucking deal with this. For one partner, that threshold might be breached by a pile of shoes by the door, dishes from last night in the sink, or mail spread across the countertop. For the other partner, they might not hit their threshold until the room is hard to walk through, or maybe it starts to smell. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you're getting me, right? You're just different, and that's normal. But usually, the moment that the lower threshold partner is thinking, oh, good, now it's a problem? Now that you can smell it? Fantastic. Glad we waited until the house looks like a yard sale exploded and smells like that too. So I just want to have you just take a second, think about your kitchen counter for a moment. One partner walks in, sees 3 coffee mugs, stack of mail, and a random screwdriver someone swears they used last week. And that's why it's still on the counter. And immediately, that lower threshold person, their whole body tightens up. Shoulders get high on their body. They start to have a reaction, and they might not even be aware of what's truly happening. They just maybe could reach for pissed, or I'm frustrated, or oh my God, that's driving me crazy. And their brain starts scanning the room like, why are there 3 backpacks here? What is this screwdriver doing on the countertop still? And why are these shoes multiplying? Meanwhile, again, the higher clutter threshold partner walks into the exact same kitchen and thinks, looks normal, not a bother. That moment right there, that's not laziness of the higher clutter threshold person. It's not disrespect to you. It's just that clutter threshold discrepancy. And both of you are reacting to different internal limits, your own clutter threshold. And here's what most people don't realize. Clutter thresholds are relative. I had a client who felt like she was suffocating in her first marriage. Her partner had been raised by a hoarder. He kept everything. And she felt consistently and utterly overwhelmed by the state of a lot of rooms in their home. They divorced. She remarried. And in her second marriage, she's now considered the messy one. Same woman, different partner, different threshold dynamic. Your threshold isn't a moral badge. I want to say that so that you really hear it. If someone has a lower threshold, it doesn't mean that that's how everyone needs to live. You can express your needs, absolutely, but it doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you the queen or king of the home. And I want to just remind you, it's a moving target based on who you're comparing it to. You probably have a If you have kids, they're probably different from each other. You probably have, oh, yeah, she's my organized one, or he's my absolute messy. And they're different. And when you start putting them right next to each other, they're extremely different. So when thresholds are pushed past their comfort zone, emotions typically get amplified. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The lower threshold partner thinks, I'm the only adult here. And the higher threshold partner might be thinking, I can't relax in my own home. This is not enjoyable. And then something subtle but powerful happens, probably. The lower threshold partner often steps into the manager mode of the house, not because they're evil, not because they want domination, but because their nervous system is trying to create safety inside of their body. You have to start opening the door to that concept. If I can get you to just put your shit away, if I can just get you to care more about our home, which often translates to the other partner as, if I can just get you to do it my way, those thoughts feel logical, even righteous on both parts, but they rarely work long term because now it's no longer just about clutter. It's about a mismatched priority inside of the home and who gets to set the tone of the home. Manager mode is one of the most common patterns I see in couples. One person slowly becomes the operations manager. They track the laundry, the kids' gear, the groceries, and they also are tracking all of the clutter around the house because they want it to go away. And eventually, they probably start tracking the other adult. Did you move that? Are you going to deal with that? Why is this still here? And the irony is, the more one partner manages, the less the other partner feels ownership. And that's in probably everything in your relationship. Just take a moment to pause and think about that. Like, if you're over managing, think about all the places that you're doing that and do your best to talk about it. I once worked with a couple where this dynamic was intense. He had the lower threshold. He carried the mental load of the house and the kids' things. She was overwhelmed by her own belongings and moved at a completely different pace than he did. For years, he felt very much in that role of house manager. It was his system, his standards, his stress if it wasn't up to his standards. And the rest of the family felt stressed because of his clutter stress. They knew that dad might get really tripped up or aggravated or mad if stuff was left out. So that's not a great way to live, you guys. It's not. And I understand the reality of that. And I really just want to keep urging everyone to bring those conversations to the table because it can be different. So back to this story. So something changed. And I think it had to change because of the family feeling so stressed out. They decided to schedule time to organize their home together at the same time. Not perfectly, not right in the same location as each other, and definitely not without tension. But the main ingredient there, and the most important, is that they were doing it together. Instead of her only working on her own space to organize it and get her shit finally together, while he handled everything else, the kids' shared spaces, the dog's chaos, they both came in and worked on the shared family spaces. And something in his body softened because he wasn't alone anymore. The win wasn't speed. And I really want to make sure you all understand that speed is not the answer. Even though that low clutter threshold person is going to be like, let's get as much done as we can. Let's work for 17 hours if we have to. And the other partner is just like, oh, shit. I do not want to do this with my Saturday. To really celebrate the wins of doing that project and really culminating as a team is going to give you some really yummy feelings. Let go of perfection. It's not about perfection. It's about building trust together. And it's really the win of a shared effort in your shared home. And that's going to do wonders for everybody's nervous system. Just a little quickie about nervous systems. I have a freebie. I'll link it down in the show notes or in the description, but please go and grab it. It's 2 pages and it has a list of what it looks like when your nervous system is activated. I didn't know until I was in my 50s, you guys. So I really want to push this word out so people understand their bodies and their minds. And the nervous system is really doing a big number on those. So there's the first sheet, which is just the activation symptoms. And then the second sheet is how to deactivate. And I want you to put it right on your fridge so everyone can see it. Everyone can understand what's happening, because the second you learn how to navigate an amped up, charged up nervous system, the more you're going to be able to communicate better. You're not going to go off the handle. You're not going to totally sink into, you never, we never, all of that stuff. I really want you to see what's going on so that you can manage what's going on. And I want to guarantee that your conversations around clutter and the disarray of the home is going to shift. So don't forget to get those. Another thing that I see often is the different pacing. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but pacing is a really big deal. It's a hard truth that is a very hard pill to swallow. The lower threshold partner often wants it done fast. And they make decisions quickly and they crave completion and they want to feel the relief of finished. The higher threshold partner may need more time. They probably need more processing time. They probably need more breaks. They may struggle with focus or feel completely overwhelmed by the scope of the project, which is really why I want to encourage you guys to bring the scope in. It's not like, oh, we're going to do the garage today. Don't do that. You're going to create a lot of friction between you guys. Small scope. So I want to manage your expectations. If you expect identical pacing with your partner, resentment is guaranteed. And if you start hovering or hurrying them and your manager mode starts creeping back into the project, your partner is not you. You've got to manage your expectations, both of you. The remedy isn't become me. The remedy is work with me. Same house, same window of time, shared ownership. Crucial. Not one exhausted manager and one overwhelmed partner. So you don't solve different clutter thresholds with arguing, nagging, shaming, or blaming. You solve them with collaboration. Honestly, if you find yourself doing any of those indirect communication tactics to get your needs met, recognize it. Stop yourself. Ask for a conversation when everyone's calm and regulated. So you're looking at the differences and then you create agreements together. You define what success looks like together. Instead of you never, it becomes we agreed. Can you step into that agreement with me? Shared effort lowers isolation, and clear systems reduce repeated conflict. Clutter thresholds aren't about who's right. They're about how two nervous systems experience the same home differently. The shift isn't more control, it's partnership. You don't need a different personality or partner who matches you better. You just need to start working on shared effort and systems you design together. I know you can do it. I've seen it happen. I'm rooting for you. My name's Colette Roy, and I am passionate about people having relationships in their home that create sanctuary, physically, emotionally, all of it.